Welcome everyone. Hello once again. My name is Tomáš Novotný. I'm the co-owner and co-founder of Regartis. And it is a great pleasure that we can bring you the latest news, what's going on in the UK chemicals regulations, namely UK REACH. It's been a while since our last webinar on this topic, which was, I think, in June or May. And we thought you might want to see what's new and where we currently stand. So we prepared a whole series of webinars where we will update you what's currently on the stage and how you can prepare to comply with UK REACH if you haven't done so, or how you can sustain your compliance. So we will not be able to cover everything today, but that's why we prepared a whole series of post-Brexit REACH compliance webinars. I call it season 2. Today we will just cover the basics, where we are now and how to comply, and we will go into more detail in the following webinars. My name is Tomáš Novotný, and here with me today is Jana Trávničková.
Hello everybody, good afternoon.
It will be quite brief today, but Jana is here to join us, especially for the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask through the Q&A window. If you have any technical issues, use the chat window. And at the end of the webinar, you will also have a chance to ask live. So you can turn on your microphone and ask your question directly. That's the safest way how you can get your answer as fast as possible. Our company is providing complex services on both sides of the channel, so we can cover all UK REACH compliance as well as EU REACH compliance, because we have branches on both sides of the channel. So if you need any help with your registrations, downstream user notifications, only representative service, feel free to contact us and feel free to ask anytime. So after today's introductory webinar, we will go into more detail, especially on the downstream user import notification. So if you are eligible and you haven't done your downstream user import notifications yet, we will help you with a step-by-step guidance to give you some last-minute help before the deadline passes. And then the following 2 webinars will be dedicated to data sharing and nominating the lead registrants. So collaborations in registrations with other companies that are registering the same substance, how you can negotiate access to data, and how you should discuss and nominate in your substance groups the lead registrant role. And after that, we will take a look what's next. When the downstream user import notification will be passed, we will take a look what's coming and how you can retain your UK REACH compliance after that. You don't need to take any notes. You will get a recording and the slide deck after the presentation. And you will also get answers to all your questions. If we are not able to answer them all live, we will come back with our popular Q&A sheet. I can see that the number of participants just hit 100, so I'm happy to see that. And let's jump right to it. We will start with an overview where we are concerning UK REACH compliance. And give you some scenarios based on your situation, what you should be doing right now to stay on the UK market. And we will leave some space for questions and answers. If we are not able to answer them live, we will please ask anyway, because we will answer all questions after the webinar as well. So first question comes from my side. I would really like to know if you are facing any issues with UK REACH compliance. So I will just briefly launch a quick poll. Please let me know if you are fully covered, so everything goes smoothly, everything is clicking, or if you are facing any issues concerning data sharing, for example, or nominations of the lead registrant, if you need any help with the downstream user import notification, which we will be covering next time. This will give me some kind of picture how detailed I should be in answering some of the questions or in going into detail in some of the topics. So the numbers are coming in. I will end the voting in a few seconds and show you the result. It's really interesting to see the split between those of you who don't have any issues and where everything is clicking, and those who are facing some kind of barriers or some kind of problems in your UK REACH compliance. So I will end it right now and share the result with you. It's almost, well, it's just over a third of you in the audience today who is perfectly fine and perfectly covered, and the rest is reporting some kind of uncertainties. And it seems that some of them are related to data sharing and lead register nominations, and some of you came here today to learn what exactly you might need to do. So let's see if we can cover those. Thank you for your answers. I hope today's webinar will help you with seeing where you are and what you need to do. So the UK REACH transition period started with grandfathering, which passed in April. Now we are approaching another deadline, which I mentioned several times already today, the downstream user import notification. And after that, if you are able to cover your current REACH compliance, REACH registration compliance with grandfathering or DUIN, you will have 2, 4, or 6 years to submit full UK REACH registrations. So based on your current situation, what you should be doing, let's take a look at some scenarios. Well, first of all, I need to ask if you already have UK REACH compliance granted after 27th of October. It will be a much easier question to answer. Just a second. So simple answer. Do you already have UK REACH compliance granted after the downstream user import notification deadline? Yes, no, I don't know. Simple as that. Thank you for your answers. I will close the voting in 5 seconds. Okay. So it seems that 21% of the audience today is covered even beyond the downstream user import notification deadline, and the rest is split evenly between no, I'm not covered, or I don't know if I'm covered. So let's take a look at all those 3 scenarios. If you are already covered with your compliance after the downstream user import notification deadline, which means that you already have your downstream user import notifications, or you have UK REACH registrations, or you have UK REACH grandfathering submission or successfully completed. The next step would be to set the full registration strategy. If you haven't already registered, we will take a closer look at that. If you answered no, the first step you would need to do is to check if you are still eligible for downstream user import notification, because if you are, that's the easiest way how to stay on the market after the downstream user import notification deadline, which is 27 October. And if you don't know, the first step obviously would be to check your UK REACH obligations, and we can take a close look at that as well. So if you are already covered by the downstream user import notification successfully completed, submitted, or by the grandfathering notification successfully submitted, completed. The next step would be to prepare for the registration, which means join the data sharing negotiations by an inquiry to UK HSE. So if you haven't registered completely yet and you are preparing for the registration, that's the first step, to see who is in your substance group and negotiate how you will share the data required for the registration with them. And after that, preparing the registration dossier and registering. We will be covering these two topics in quite a detail in one of the following webinars. So let's jump to the next group. But I also wanted to raise one important fact that we are seeing from our experience and also from the industry, that the data sharing negotiations under UK REACH are not so straightforward as it would seem, because there are still quite a lot of uncertainties or confusions when it comes to transferring the existing data that you used for EU REACH registrations to the UK. There are several different models how the registrants typically do it. And again, that's something we will be covering in detail in one of our upcoming webinars. So if you are not covered after the downstream user import notification deadline after 27 October, I can only strongly advise to check if you are still eligible for DUIN, because if you are, that's the easiest way how to stay on the market. Quite straightforward, and in 3 weeks we can provide you with a step-by-step guidance in our next webinar. So if you are eligible for DUIN, that's the next step. If you are not eligible for DUIN, you would need to submit full registration to stay on the market. So the downstream user import notification we were covering in detail in one of our previous webinars. I will give you links at the end. But what it is basically transferring or relying on an existing EU REACH registration from your suppliers or from anybody up in your supply chain. So if there's an existing REACH registration in the EU and you are buying from an EU REACH registered supplier, you are eligible for the downstream user import notification. There are a few more conditions, but this is the basic principle. So in 3 weeks, we can give you all details how to file the downstream user import notification. And if you don't know what, if you are covered or not, what you need to do, I can point you to one of our first webinars on this topic. There is a lot of information there, the basics, how to determine what you need to do under UK REACH, what are your current obligations. So that would be the starting point. If you still have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, of course. The last option is to leave the UK market, but I'm not quite sure if that's what you want. We are getting to the questions and answers session. I can see already some questions in the Q&A's panel, Q&A's window. One question we are receiving quite a lot is whether the UK REACH is likely to copy future changes from EU REACH, whether UK REACH will be mirroring EU REACH in future as well. I can only give you my personal opinion because we cannot foresee the future, but we already have some indications there. My personal opinion is that very unlikely. I believe that the UK REACH will be harmonized with the EU REACH to some extent, especially to minimize the barriers, the trade barriers between the UK and the EU. But at the same time, I strongly believe that the UK will slightly modify the obligations to take into account the national specifics of the structure of the market, maybe also regional or local issues with the environment. And the UK will simply wait to see to see some new provisions which will be adopted in the EU, to see if they really work, if they bring what they are supposed to before the UK adopts them fully. We can already well the reason for my opinion is when I'm watching the news, when I'm watching what's going on, I can already see some signs, see some indications. One of them is that the latest proposal for REACH authorized substances was not fully copied, not fully mirrored in the latest proposal in the UK. So when when ECHA proposed 7 substances to be listed in the authorization list in April, the UK only recommended 2 of those substances in their latest recommendation. And most notably, for example, siloxanes were left out, at least for the time being. So these are the signs that the UK REACH will not 100% copy or mirror the EU REACH in future. So that was just a brief introduction. I really wanted to make it quick today, so you have a chance to see where you are, and we can meet at one of the next webinars where we will be covering more details, starting with the DUIN in 3 weeks. You can also watch some of our previous webinars. There is a lot we already covered in spring. So feel free to see our YouTube channel, and if you still have any questions, our popular "Don't Panic" button still works. And now let's jump to the questions. So I will start with one of the questions that we got before the webinar already. Michael was asking, when they grandfathered an EU REACH registration into UK REACH, Michael thought that they would be contacted by HSE, by the UK authority, informing about other registrants in the substance group to discuss with them the data sharing or a lead registrant nomination. But Michael says that he hasn't heard anything. Well, I prepared a long answer to that covering everything, but basically you should be informed through your UK comply with the UK REACH account, through which you submitted through which you can submit information to UK HSE. So if you log into your comply with UK REACH account, you should be able to see all the companies in your substance group. And you can also set email notifications from that system. So if you haven't got any, if you didn't get any notification, please check your email notifications there. So that was one important question I wanted to cover. Katarzyna was asking if the submitted DUIN notifications can still be updated after October 28, after the deadline. Not that I'm aware of. I'm strongly convinced that the deadline is hard, and after that there will be no possible updates for any kind of substances. One last question, or 2 last questions I wanted to cover before going to your questions live. Should we provide to customers the DUIN number assigned for us? Many customers ask for statements about UK REACH status, UK REACH compliance. Is it enough that we declare that we have appointed an only representative, give his contact details, and we have notified substances which they buy from us? The answer to that is that the level of confidence and the evidence you provide to your customers is completely up to you. So one of the documents that you can show to them is the downstream user notifications submission confirmations. You can show them the downstream user notifications numbers. You can also provide them with a simple declaration. It's completely up to you. We always recommend to share the downstream user import notification number with the customer, because that's one of the strongest evidence you can provide. If still not enough, to provide also the submission confirmation report. And of course, the owner representative can also confirm that as a third party to your customers as well. But what kind of evidence you provide to your customers, that's completely up to you. Jana, can you please help me with this one? Are European SDSs acceptable in the UK, in Great Britain?
Of course, Tomáš, I can help you. To be honest, I'm not so familiar with SDS safety data sheets according to GB or UK REACH, but what I know is that all safety data sheets prepared according to UK REACH are acceptable in whole Great Britain. So what I know, there should be a transition period, but none of us has the information when this transition period starts and when it will end. So now we know that all SDS are acceptable, and there is a special case in Northern Ireland, and there should be so there are accepted safety data sheets prepared according to new regulation 22878, what I know. So in a Northern Ireland, because Northern Ireland is still member of UK, so they have to prepare safety data sheets according to this new regulation. And I think that there was a second part of the question, if I am right.
Yeah, are there any specific requirements other than CLP?
Yes, so no, there are no any specific requirements. So what HSE takes over the harmonized classification of substances, and this list of substances is available on HSE website. So it seems that these substances, all substances mentioned in this list, are the same, like in our European harmonized classification lists of substances. So no specific requirements are here. But if there are any specific requirements, I think that we will inform you during our webinars on a special webinar related to safety data sheets as well.
Thank you.
For nothing.
Okay, I can see 8 questions in the Q&A's window. Before going to these, is there anybody who would like to ask live? Please raise your hand if you would like to ask live, and we can discuss it. I can see 1 hand, 2 hands raising. Alessio.
Yeah, listen to me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Alessio.
Okay, I have 2 questions, and the first is for the downstream user import notification. I understand that the substance have to be already registered according to UA REACH. Okay. The question is, what if a substance is still not registered under UA REACH? Okay.
Yeah, then it would be treated as a completely new registration in the UK as well. So as you perfectly correctly mentioned, there has to be an existing EU REACH registration, and you have to be customer, or you have to be part of the supply chain of the previous EU REACH registrant to be able to benefit from the downstream user import notification. So
okay.
if there is something new not registered in the EU, you will need to file a completely new registration, full registration.
Okay, someone along the supply chain have to be registered according to the UA REACH. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. The second question, can you please confirm that I'm quite confused about the DUIN procedure, okay? The practical DUIN procedure. But I understand that the only mandatory information to submit DUIN through the Excel sheet okay, are the DUIN number and the legal entity. This is enough to submit the Excel file.
There is a set of
Jana is shaking her head.
Yes, because I have a lot of practical experience with DUIN submission. So you are absolutely right that mandatory items is DUIN number and legal entity name. And after that, you also have to indicate the number of, not number, a name of substance, and
Okay.
also the basic identifier. So it means CAS number or EC number. And that's all, because HSE supposes that a lot of DUIN submitters are downstream users and they don't have full complete information about substance, so they don't need analytical reports. But if you have this, so you can also provide them with these analytical reports, but you have to also indicate substance name and basic identifiers.
Okay.
But please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not doing the DUINs in our company. It's Jana and a few other colleagues. But you also need to provide a proof that you are part of the supply chain of an EU registered registrant, right? So you need
Exactly. You need a registration number or under EU REACH. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Absolutely correct.
Okay. Okay. I had just to inform you, I attended a webinar last week where they told differently, because this is the reason why I asked confirmation. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alessio, for this question and for raising this. It would be very interesting if we can contact you afterwards to see what the other webinar, what was the opinion on that other webinar?
Yeah, I attended almost all your webinar. We are an Italian company that we are facing the DUIN notification, but we are not sure to perform the DUIN because we are waiting for the feedback from our GB supplier, GB customers, and for the moment we have no feedback. Okay, I don't know if they are not aware about their obligation, but I want to stay ready, okay? So I really appreciate your webinars. Believe me, you are very professional, very good technical, and I wish to thank you. I will attend the other webinars. I don't know if we will work together. This is my hope, okay? But it depends on our GB customers.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And we hope that we will be able to keep the level of professionalism of our webinars still the same or even higher. And with that, our time is already up, but I think we can still spend 5 more minutes for those of you who want to stay with more questions. I saw that Raul was raising hand previously. So was your question already answered, Raul, please? I will take silence as a yes. But please speak up if you still have any questions or raise your hand. Okay. Seems that everything is covered from Raul. We have Martin raising hand, please.
Hello.
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 Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I just have one question regarding the SDS management in UK, because for the time being we are providing SDS based on the European format. That means if the substance is registered in the EU, we will have the registration number for EU on the state charter sheet for UK. What is your feeling? Could we still supply this SDS with the EU registration number in Great Britain, or that will be a mixture? If it's mixture, what do you think about that?
That's a really good question. Well, none of us are experts on safety data sheets, so we will need to verify, we will need to double check with our colleagues who are working on safety data sheets. But my assumption would be that it will definitely do no harm to list an EU REACH registration number on your safety data sheet. I would assume that as soon as you have the UK REACH registration number, you are obliged to list it on the safety data sheet.
Yes.
But until you have it, well, my assumption would be that it would work the same as in the EU. So before you have the obligation to register, which still can be 6 years from now if you are in the lowest tonnage band, you don't have to provide a REACH registration number. But of course, as soon as you have it, it's always beneficial for you to put it there. And if you put an EU REACH registration number, well, it will definitely not be something that the UK authorities could take into account as an official information that would cover your obligations, but it should do no harm. You can do that. Yes, please, Jana.
So I have one notice. So what I know, before registration, so under EU REACH there was pre-registration, and it was allowed to use this pre-registration number in safety data sheets until the substance will be registered. So I think that the same will be under UK REACH. So if you have DUIN number, because it's still a legal number. Yes, legal number, so you can use this number in your safety data sheets, and also the inquiry number, because they also, if you submit inquiry under UK REACH, you also receive the inquiry number, and you can put this number in a safety data sheets in section 1.1, because it's also identifier of substance, and it's declares that this substance is notified to HSE. So I think that you can use DUIN and also inquiry number, and after registration under UK REACH, you should use a registration number.
But I would definitely put this on the list of questions. We will consult our experts and double check what kind of numbers you can or should use. EU REACH, UK REACH registration, DUIN number, or grandfathering number, or inquiry number.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for the question.
Great, you're welcome.
Okay, one last question we can answer live, and we will answer the rest after the webinar. Are there any questions live from the audience?
It's Martin here.
Yes, please.
Yes, hello. This is Martin here. I much appreciate your expert and timely webinars as well, as all the previous people who attend them. I just had a question. Like many companies, we have done some grandfathering, we've done some DUINs, and we have some inquiries. Do you understand that the HSE will be charging for approving dossiers for grandfathering or not? And how does that compare with DUINs and inquiries? I'm sure they will be charging for inquiries.
Yeah, thank you. I can see your question also in the Q&As window. The registration fees are one item, single item, no matter if you are coming completely from scratch, from greenfield with a completely new registration, or if you have an existing grandfathering notification or DUIN, the fee is still the same, the registration fee. So there is a fee for registration. There were no fees for grandfathering or DUINs, but the registration fee is the same for everybody.
One of the good things, I think, is that some companies are saying that if you have already registered in the EU, then they will not be charging for an LOA, letter of access, for the UK, which BASF is saying. I think, as you said earlier, many other companies or consortia haven't yet decided, which is another key cost.
Yeah, that's another issue. That's a big one. What I was talking about are the official administrative fees charged by the UK HSE. When it comes to letters of access and data sharing, the models are different from consortia to consortia. We saw both of these models or several models. One is exactly as you mentioned, and typically where it's a big CEF or big consortium with a lot of players, and especially the big companies, they don't want to have any administrative burden or technical burden. They just want to get it done. So they are saying, we already had the data, you already owned the data, and UK was once part of the EU, so you are free to use the data in the UK as well without any additional charge, or maybe just some small administrative charge. But then there are other CEFs, other consortia, typically those where you have several registrants in the EU who are selling on the EU market, but they don't intend to go to the UK market. So you have like 10% or 20% of those who want to go to the UK market, and the consortium which is in the EU says, okay, but we are not going there. So if you want to extend your registration to the UK REACH, we will have to charge you again.
Very good. Thank you very much.
We will again take a close look at all those different scenarios and models in one of the next webinars, because this is really a key topic, because the letters of access can cost tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. So that's an important issue. Thank you for raising that. I can see one more hand rising from Yixin. I think we still have time to cover that.
Hello, thank you for your expertise and explanations. I just have one question regarding the inquiry. Since we didn't submit any inquiries right now, when you did that, do you have to already pay the registration fees?
No, inquiry is still free of charge.
Okay. And is that due to the 2, 4, 6 years, then you will, or when you complete the registration dossier, then you have to pay the registration fees?
Yes. There are two different things. To get an extended period for full registration, you need to have a grandfathering or downstream user import notification. So that DUIN or grandfathering buys you time, 2, 4, 6 years, to file the full registration.
Yeah.
The inquiry is just the first step for the full registration. So if you file an inquiry without DUIN, it doesn't give you the extended period for registration. So if you want to have 2, 4, or 6 years, you have to do both actually. First DUIN and then inquiry anytime basically during those 2, 4, or 6 years. But of course, the sooner the better, because then you can join the data sharing discussions and lead registrant nominations. Was it clear, or did I mix it up?
No. I was thinking, if we, for example, if we file an inquiry dossier, how late can we complete the dossier? It's like, yeah, for example, for 10 to 100. Yeah, we're thinking, or we can maybe drop it later. Can we?
Yeah, even after filing the inquiry, nobody can force you to proceed with the registration until the deadline, or even never. You can freely file an inquiry just to be part of the substance group and to see who is there. And then you have 2, 4, or 6 years for your full registration. And you can even decide at the end of that period to say, no, we don't want to continue with the UK market. We are not proceeding with the full registration. And you will still not be charged any administrative fees from the UK HSE. Only the full registration is charged.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining. It was really nice to be back, and we will be covering more, and especially we will come back to answer all your questions that you filed. So expect the Q&A sheet in days. Thanks. Enjoy the day. Thank you, Jana.
Thank you, Tomáš, for a very nice presentation, and wish you a nice day. All of you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.